I'm Emily.
Standing in a garden filled with wildflowers on the anniversary of my daughter's death, I'm surrounded by families whose children she helped. A bench with my daughter Lily's name carved in cedar stands nearby. I kneel beside her plaque, and instead of tears, a smile spreads across my face. This time, she's not alone. She's everywhere. It's been a long and arduous journey to reach this point, filled with betrayal, greed, and ultimately, the triumph of love and truth. My family comes from a well-to-do background. My parents, George and Carol, are social climbers. They're always chasing the next big event to boost their status in the community. My brother, Jason, is equally self-centered, constantly scheming to get ahead. And my sister, Olivia, is all about appearances, always posting selfies and the latest trends on social media. My husband, David, is the complete opposite of my family. He's kind, gentle, and always there for me and Lily. Lily was our sunshine, a 10-year-old bundle of energy and love. But when she was 8, a heart surgery went horribly wrong, resulting in a wrongful death settlement of $1,250,000. This money was supposed to be Lily's legacy, a future she would never get to experience. The day of Lily's burial was a nightmare. The service was small, with a closed casket. Lily hated lilies, so there were none. As the priest spoke, I watched a sparrow land on her headstone, as if heaven itself was saying goodbye. But the pews behind me were half empty. George and Carol were at a fancy art auction across town, and Olivia sent a text saying, "Can't miss this charity fashion show." She'd understand. The night before the burial, Jason called. His voice was low and slimy. "You still have access to that account, right? That trust fund was meant to be shared among the family, Emily. We should all have a say in it." I was appalled. This money was Lily's, not theirs to divide. During the burial, I got a text from Carol. "Stop overreacting. Call me right away. It's about the money." I was too heartbroken to reply, but David stepped in. He stood beside me in the cemetery, his voice steady and firm. "She's done grieving and so am I," he said to Carol on the phone, then hung up. He took out the papers and started calling the bank. He didn't hesitate for a moment, even when the bank employee asked, "Are you sure you want to remove her maternal grandparents as co-beneficiaries?" "I'm certain," David replied. By sunset, the $1,250,000 trust fund was in my name, under my control. There would be no more family discussions about it. That night, I sat on the edge of our bed in black. David knelt in front of me, holding my hands gently. "They treated her death like it was nothing," he said. "They won't be able to touch her name or her money again." I couldn't cry. I'd run out of tears at the graveside. Instead, I whispered, "Thank you." But the retaliation from my family was swift. The next morning, Olivia posted a long rant on social media. Money can change the best of people. Grief makes them cold-hearted. Some inherit pain, while others just steal it. Everyone knew who she was talking about. Then, Carol sent a group email titled Family Unity, saying they were disappointed in my legal decision and that it was cruel to shut them out of Lily's legacy. As if Lily was just a will to be split up. I didn't respond, but my lawyer did with a simple cease and desist. We were done being nice. They'd had their chance to be there for us during Lily's illness and at the funeral, but they chose money over love. My family didn't stop there. They sent anonymous, venomous emails to David's law firm, spreading rumors about his mental stability. They even contacted the hospital that treated Lily, alleging misuse of funds. But they underestimated me. Every penny in the trust was accounted for. We'd set up college scholarships for girls with heart defects and made donations to pediatric care. When they realized they couldn't get to the money, they tried to erase Lily's memory. Her name started disappearing from family group chats, our parents' Facebook photos, and the family Google Calendar, where her birthday was once marked with colorful emojis. One night, I broke down in the pantry, holding Lily's old lunchbox that still smelled like strawberries and glue. "She's vanishing," I sobbed to David. "I can't stop them." David decided to do something amazing. He launched the Lily Grace Foundation, dedicated to helping girls with fragile hearts. He built the website in a weekend, filling it with photos and stories that my family couldn't erase. Soon, donations started pouring in, and messages from strangers said, "She reminds me of my daughter. Thank you for keeping her story alive." The foundation went viral, and local news picked up the story. There was a clip of me holding one of Lily's drawings, a heart with angel wings. In the background, I heard Carol's voicemail. "Emily, this has gone too far. You're using her memory for your own gain. This isn't what family does." I archived the voicemail. The next day, George filed a formal claim through an attorney, saying that part of the trust belonged to the extended family. They even included screenshots of Lily's birthday cards as proof of their emotional involvement. Our lawyer, Tom, just laughed. He said they'd be defeated in court, but they wanted a public fight for control and image. I didn't back down. I filed a counter claim, publicly highlighting their emotional negligence, their absence during Lily's surgeries, and the messages they sent during the burial. I attached the original trust documents, sealed and notarized. The backlash was immediate. Olivia's tweets disappeared, and my parents deactivated their accounts. But the silence from my family didn't bring me peace. Grief would resurface in the smallest things. Lily's toothbrush still sat in the sink, and her rain boots were by the back door. Her laughter echoed in the quiet house. I started doing interviews, podcasts, and speaking on panels about medical trust management and parental advocacy. Every time I said her name, it was like lighting a candle in the darkness. Then I received a letter. It was a plain envelope with no return address. Inside was a photo of Lily at age 5, sitting on Olivia's lap. She was smiling, but it was clear she was in pain. On the back was scribbled, "You're not the only one who loved her. Stop acting like it." I didn't show it to David. Instead, I scanned it, filed it, and had Tom trace the postmark. It led to a private P.O. box belonging to Jason. He hadn't spoken to me since the funeral, but now he wanted to remind me of his so-called love. Where was he when Lily asked for him at the hospital? I logged every move my family made. I didn't do it for revenge, but because they didn't have the right to narrate Lily's death. I focused on the foundation, and by December, it had funded 3 surgeries. We received heartfelt letters from mothers whose children now had a chance at life because of Lily. One day, my cousin, Jessica, messaged me on LinkedIn saying that George and Carol were planning a memorial event for Lily without me. It was going to be a public show, all about rebranding their grief. They never bothered to call me or use Lily's real voice or her drawings. I contacted the venue and sent them legal proof that I held all rights to Lily's likeness, the foundation name, and the trust identity. I made it clear that if they used her name without permission, they'd face serious consequences. 2 days later, the event was canceled. January brought a shock. I received an envelope with Lily's handwriting. Inside was a drawing of crayon hearts, with her name at the top saying "For Mommy." There was a note in the corner I'd never seen before. "Keep this safe. If anything happens, it's for you." On the back, in adult handwriting, it said, "She made this the day of her last surgery." I called Tom and asked for a handwriting analysis. He found that it was from a nurse who had worked in the cardiac unit. She'd been fired shortly after Lily's final surgery. When we tracked her down in Maine, she told me, "I'm so sorry. Your family was always around. They warned the staff not to talk to you, saying you were litigious and would sue anyone who got in your way." I was horrified. She also gave me copies of the visitor logs. It turned out that Carol had signed my name on the discharge document and told the nurses I needed rest so that she could be with Lily. I'd been kept away from my dying daughter. I didn't take my mother to court. The real punishment for her was that she'd never see me or be a part of Lily's legacy again. I changed my number, filed a legal block, and built a wall around Lily's memory. Now, as I stand in this garden on the anniversary of Lily's death, I know that she's not gone. She lives on in the lives of the children she helped, in the love of the families who came here today, and in the roots of the trees we planted for her. David reaches for my hand, and for the first time since her burial, I exhale deeply, at peace.